Last night we touched the skies, blending mushrooms, I could feel it in my head. Ribs I had seen, we've been laughing all night. Drank till the last glass we could barely see. It was so brighter to see. The darkness is falling all over my face. Memories fading away like angry birds, reaching for a place where my voice will never reach. Can you hear my crying heart, reaching for the stars above the skies? My voice will never sound like it used to do, 'cause I can only cry for her. What? For her one more night, yeah. For her one more night, yeah. For I can only cry for her. At the hub we spoke about our future and the dreams to come. Plenty kisses we couldn't miss a count. We are like best friends, even God can deny that. We are a match made by him on a weekend when he was in the mood of making diamonds and many things that I like. And then to the angels who were singing that time, can you hear my crying eyes, reaching for those stars above the skies? My voice never sound like it used to do, 'cause I can only cry for her. Can you hear my crying eyes, reaching for the stars above the skies? My voice will never sound like it used to do, 'cause I can only cry for one more night. Oh, for one more night, yeah. Oh, for one more night, yeah. Or I can only cry for her one more night. Oh, one more night, yeah. One more night. I can only cry for her one more night. Or I can only cry for one more.
Bathabile, you're live.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, are you recording now? Hi,
Bathabile, you're live.
Yeah, it seems like you can't hear me. Can you? Because I've unmuted.
Bathabile, you are live. You are live, Bathabile.
I've unmuted on my side.
Bathabile, you are live. We can hear you perfectly, Bathabile, you are live.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for that because I thought the videos are still playing. All right. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bathabile Moreki. Thank you so much for joining the session for today. So the focus for today, it will be on how to prepare to qualify for funding opportunities and also look into funding opportunities that are available in South Africa for SMMEs. So I'll just give you my background. I've been an entrepreneur for the past 9 years, and my first business, I was funded by the National Empowerment Fund, the well-known as the NEF, where I acquired funding for 1 million rand to start a franchise sector. So the National Empowerment Fund does not only fund franchising, it funds a whole lot of other industries, from your farming, construction, products, and etc. So if you can just go to their website and check, so it's National Empowerment Fund. And there are other more that I will be sharing as we go through the session. So I won't be going through any PowerPoint presentation. How we're gonna run the session, we're gonna run the session as practical examples. So I would like to invite anybody who has a business and they feel like they've been trying to apply for funding, but they've been battling, so that we can work with their case study. We don't know each other here, guys. So I think we are at a safe space. It's entrepreneurship where we also want to educate others. So our workshop for today, we want to have a practical where we educate other people so that they see how we can compile a fundable application. Then in 2015, I applied for another funding to expand my business with the commercial bank, the Net Bank. So I'm not here to advertise any of the banks. I'm purely sharing so that you can understand why I'm facilitating this workshop. So I feel that I've gone through the whole process of applying for funding on my own and servicing the funding. It's very important that we understand after acquiring the funding, we need to service that funding. We need to pay that fund. So I've paid off my 2 loans that I took, one with the government institution and the other one it was with the commercial bank. So I will also share the benefits of why I feel that if you are running a business and you feel like you don't have enough funds, you should not only shy away from taking the bank loan for your business. So we will go through the exercise. So can I just get any business or anybody who wants to participate to our session today, just raise your hand so that we can just understand your industry and we can go through. So as we prepare for the funding, the first thing that we need to understand is the systems are placed so that there is fair process for everybody. If you are running a company in South Africa, we need to understand that there are rules and regulations. So rules and regulations are there for any other, even if you are just running a small businesses, you're gonna now have to create policies for your business. So the banks and also government institutions, they all work according to those rules and regulations and their guidelines. So it's very important that before you apply, you need to understand what are the requirements. So I'm going to share a slide. It's one of the forms that I've completed before for the National Empowerment Fund. So you can look into any of the other institutions that you would like to work with, whether you want to work with identity partners, you want to work with, CIFA or any bank. So the first point that I will highly recommend is that get in touch with that institution so that you can understand their requirements and be able to prepare your documents properly. So I will just share the first document that I have in front of me here. Okay. Oh, I can't see it now. Please, somebody, can you just confirm if you can see my screen?
We can see your screen.
All right, thank you. So this is the NEF application. Guys, I don't work for NEF. I don't do any work with the NEF. I'm purely sharing because I've been one of their funding recipient. And to be honest, the support that I received from the NEF, it was so amazing. So I'm just sharing this so that we can educate each other. So now if you can see, the application form is straightforward. Here is your business details. So if you want to acquire funding, it's very important that you know that you need to have a registered business so that you can now complete your business details on the application form. Then your your details as the applicant, as the director. If there are more than 2 directors, then there is a space where you can also include other directors. And if you go down, you will see everything. It's things that you will have as a business. Next, so I'll just go to their checklist. That's where we should start, so that you just familiarize and be able to prepare. So the application form will say, please include a business plan. I know some of us, we like to use Canva, we like to use other documents that we feel that can work as a business plan. But here, the application is very clear. They need a business plan. That's how they work. They don't want any other. They don't want a summary. They don't want a Canva. They want a business plan. So it's very important that once you want to access funding, you need to align yourself with the requirements. Then affidavit of members, directors, to accompany the form, 3-year audited financials. And then in brackets, it will just say the cash flow statement, income statement. If you are a fairly new business, you will see that some of the requirements.
Did you open the document? Because we only see your Explorer screen. We don't see the form.
Okay, I heard somebody saying they could say it. Okay, let me just open it again. Sorry about that. Okay, let me just. Okay, it's open. Let me now share. All right, can somebody confirm if you can see a brownish color form?
Yeah, now we see the brownish
Yes,
color form.
Okay, perfect. So I'll just take you through the first step. So this is how the application forms will look like. Then those are your business details and then the applicant's details. You can see that it even accommodates if there's more than one director of the company. And then as you go down, you will see now the checklist where you need to understand what to prepare. So if you're a new business, you'll understand that some of the requirements are not applicable to your business because it's still new. So you wouldn't have audited financial statement for the past 3 years. If you've only been active, your business has been operating for 3 years, you'll only need, for a year, you'll only need to submit financials for a year. And it's not all the business that qualifies for audited financials, even just your financials done by the accountant, other businesses, that's sufficient enough. So get in touch with an accountant so that they can make you understand which businesses will need audited and which ones will still qualify without audited financials. And then the fourth point, it will say 5-year financial projections. It's an exercise that we're gonna do together. So it's very important that you need to understand your business potential revenue and expenses, or for some businesses, cost of sale for the 5 years. Some people will say, but I've never traded. I don't know what will be the expenses or the revenue, potential revenue. So that's where a business plan will come to assist you. So when you compile a business plan, which is another second exercise we're going to do together, you will understand that you need to go out and research. So when you research, you will go whether through Google, where you can find what are the salary scales from the Department of Labor. They've got a whole lot of salary scales for any job, in South Africa. So from from the restaurant side, engineers, so you can look there so that you understand your business employment components, and then understand the salary scheme to make your budget for salaries. How you pay for your rental, you can, go to different landlords, understand the space that you're looking for, and get quotations for rental space. So it's very important that you compile these financials, because that's where you can understand how much your business can afford to reservice the loan, if your business can actually even be profitable. If maybe you're thinking that you need 1 million rand to set up a business, can that 1 million rand be enough to set you up and run for, have a runway budget for maybe 3 to 6 months and still be profitable? So it's very important that before you even go to the banks and look for money, understand the needs of your business. So these financials will assist you. Financial focus. Then if you are not existing, you won't have a recent management account. But if you're existing, it's very important that on a monthly basis, you compile these reports, because as you see, they are needed. Don't only do them. And this kind of reports, guys, they're not only important when you need to apply for funding. They are important for you to run your business so that you can understand the growth of your business, how the business is performing, if it's in a crisis, and what could be impacting. You know, where is the money being wasted, if there's any wastages. So these reports, they help you in a number of things to be able to grow your business. And then as a director of any business, it's very important to understand that even your personal assets and liabilities will also be part of the requirements. So as you manage your credit risk, you are only not managing it for yourselves, but also for your business. So it's critical that you guard your credit risk. I think there's somebody who opened 2 devices, so it's giving me a bad echo on my side. Yoli, can you please assist? Okay, thank you.
Yes, it's done.
All right. So now just Google. There's a lot of templates where you can just put in your liabilities and assets, you know, figures. So even some of the banks, they will give you that form so that you can just complete them, write all your liabilities and write all your assets and the value as well. And then on the business statements, all the businesses for 12 months only if you've been existing. So some of the things that are not applicable to you, you'll write next to the form not applicable because your business is still new. Certified copy of IDs, registered document. If you are wanting to apply for franchising, now the franchisor profile. So if it's not a business, if it's not a franchise, it will be your business profile. Details of the business if you want to buy another existing business. Business is for sale. The sales agreement if you're buying a second-hand business, a franchise agreement if there's any franchise applicable to you, and their financials. So you could see that here is just the normal things that each and every business, you have access to such information. So once you complete the application form, go through the checklist and don't complete incomplete application, because even if you don't have that information, unfortunately, the funders won't be able to assist you. So it's very important that you get those information. If you don't know where to get them, inquire from them, because they've done a lot of application. They might be able to give you a guide, you know, but don't only rely on the funders. Also inquire with other businesses. Come to social media, guys. They give so many advices to say, where can I get, if maybe you need to attach some safety certificate, you can ask other people if you don't know that such things you can acquire from the municipality. So it's important that all the checklists are completed. Then you can see the figure documents and your CV. So this is just a checklist, and it's similar to a whole lot of other funding applications, whether it's for commercial banks or government institutions. So this was the checklist, guys. You can access the form online. You can also get to check on other information. And then here you'll just see it's just the summaries of how they want the business plan to be complied, you know. So it's the first point that you need to do as an entrepreneur is to get in touch with the funders so that you understand the requirements. So the second point where I'm gonna go, it's now on the 5-year forecast. So some of us, we've always been saying we need money, right? So can somebody just tell us, if you are in business today and you feel that, you know what, I need funding, how much funding do you think you need for your business? Can we get just a volunteer to share with us? If you feel that you need funding for your business, how much do you need funding for your business? Otherwise, I'm gonna choose, guys, because I know some of you have attended the sessions today. Okay, I see Lerato Saisa. Lerato Saisa, you can unmute and just tell us how much do you need for funding for your business, and just share what kind of the business you are running.
Okay, hi, my name is Lerato Saia. I run a events planning and deco business. According to my calculations thus far, I need about 500,000 for my business. to get the equipment I currently need.
All right. So can you break down the equipment for us? What do you need for your business? What kind of equipment do you need?
Okay, I need chairs.
Mm-hmm.
I need tables. I need tents.
Mm-hmm.
And I need a new laptop, and I need a trailer for those are the things that I need currently.
So do you think all of them, they add up to 500,000?
The chairs are quite costly. The ones that I'm looking at now that I want to buy. And it's not only one type. It's quite a variety that I want to add into the business. So to get about 100 of them would cost me approximately 100,000 plus.
Oh, okay, no, I understand. So it costs, it's those nice chairs for the events. And then how long has your business been operating?
I started in 2013 doing kiddies parties. And then 2018 I started to branch into weddings. So it's about almost 8 years now.
Oh, nice. Well done. So thank you so much for sharing. So guys, it's very important that before you even say I need funding, you need to sit down and assess how much money you think you need for the business. Ne? Then list all your equipments. If you can, get quotations as well, so that you see the actual cost. Unlike sometimes you think a check can cost you 200 rand, but you forgot to factor the transportation, because maybe you are ordering those chairs from Cape Town and you are based in Joburg. Now there will be transportation costs, there will be insurance costs that will be added on your code. Then you'll budget only maybe 150,000. Then by the time the chest comes, you need to pay about 180. That's 30,000 difference. Even if you use courier, guys, it's still, because of the weight, it's still expensive, you know. So it's very important that you sit down and make those quotations, get to understand how much do you need. Then after assessing how much you need, the second point is that you need to understand how will this 500,000 loan contribute to the growth of your business. We don't only loan money for the sake of you having nice things. You know, it's good to have all the equipment, but will those equipments be utilized into your business to create profit? You know, so now let's say Lerato gets all these equipments for 500,000. Now Lerato needs to understand how much money will now this equipment help her generate in a month. Would you have now 10 weddings, Lerato, in a month to be able now to use this equipment? You know, so those are the things that you need now to sit down and assess, to say, after I acquired this amount, because remember this 500,000 will incur an interest. So now we're gonna factor the interest as well, and then now understand to say, will this now be a loan that is assisting us? Will it gonna generate income? We've seen some of the people, you'll take a loan for something that is not generating an income. Now it becomes more of a liability than an asset to your business. You know, so if you've got laptop, if you want to buy a new laptop, you need to understand to say, check how will now it assist your business to generate income, and then weigh the options between using an alternative to say, if maybe I'm just making the invoice using a third party, which one will be more cost effective instead of owning something? So you need to look into those before now you commit and say, I need an X amount of funding. Because the funder, guys, one thing that they assess is also now the growth that this money will do, the impact, because they wouldn't want to give you a debt that you cannot be able to finance as the business, because funders don't want you to go out of your way to find money to pay this. Even if you've got rich uncles and aunties, you cannot now commit on your family money for the business. The business must be able to afford to service this funding. So now, once we've done this, now we need to go back now and assess the potential revenue to see what is your monthly cost before you even factor the loan, because the loan amount is gonna be under your expenses as the business. It's gonna be an expense that you're gonna have to service each and every month. So now you need to sit down and look into your expenses. So I'm gonna share my screen now with one of the templates that I normally use to do my expenses for the business. And I always submit it as part of the financial forecast when I'm sourcing for funding. Eh? So if anybody can let me know if my screen is sharing.
Yes, it's sharing.
Okay, is it sharing? Okay. I think I exited by mistake. Oh, what happened now? Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen. It's got year 1, year 2, year 3, and a summary at the bottom.
Okay. All right, perfect. So guys, this is also one of the templates. I will acknowledge FNB because that's where I got the template from when I was trying to source funding from them. But now NetBank ended up giving me the funding. So I feel that it will not be doing justice if I remove their logo, you know, because to be honest, I got this template from FNB. So now this is one of the templates. You can just Google and search and ask around for another template that maybe you want to use. Ask your accountant maybe to assist you. So now this will be the expenses. So we'll start with the expenses. Né? From your advertising, some of the expenses might not be applicable to your businesses. And there's also a way that you can just add other expenses that are applicable to your business. So now we'll have your advertising fee. Any business, guys, we need to advertise. You know, you need to have your marketing budget for the business. Your bank charges. Everybody, even if you don't have a speed point, you only have a bank account, there will be monthly charges for the business. Card commissions, cleaning material, computer expenses. Now here is the loan repayment. So you need to understand that you need to factor the loan repayment once you need to get that loan, so that you understand that it's something, it's going to be an expense for monthly. Then if maybe you've got your HR partner, you know, service your HR account, your accounting services, petrol for business expenses. If you've got rent, operational costs, it's all your sewages, marketing for the for the lease and other things. The gas, if you've got gas, if you're using gas into your business, petrol, pest control, stationery, telephone, wages, management salary, if you're using Wi-Fi. So now you need to go and be, you know, as practical as possible. So if you are not running a business as yet, go out to businesses similar to yours, find out what are their expenses, interview the managers, interview the owners, you know, tell them that you are embarking into opening a restaurant. If some, maybe you feel that they might not give you the information, guys, there's nothing wrong just to say you are now doing a research, you know. When even big companies, they go into their competitors looking for information. So there's nothing wrong, guys. It's the industry practice. If you are running a business, you can only get the true information from other businesses or people with the knowledge. So meet accountants just to understand what will be the budget to run an events company or a manufacturing of, you know, detergents. So that go visit other factories, understand their spacing. What is the spacing required? You know, if it's 100 square meters, then you will know. If you call in different areas for spacing, you know that you give them that I need a spacing between 80 and 100, then they will give you the square meters. That's how you can just have a draft, but those are realistic figures. So don't just some suck figures, because guys, the other thing that we don't need to forget is that the funders, they work with qualified accountant and chartered accountants. So they can see unrealistic figures that somebody didn't make any effort. So that's one thing that other people fail to acquire funding, is because they've just compiled this, you know, without even making an effort. It's like when you are at school and then your lecturer will tell you that you copied this assignment, because they've seen a whole lot of other assignments. They know what, how people, you know, at our level, you know, how do they compile? So it's like that to say, let's not just do this exercise to please the funders. Now you are writing, you know, lower estimates because you just want to acquire funding. You need to be realistic about their financial forecast. If you've been having a running business, then your accountant or by yourself, you can now compile your actual expenses every month. So now, if you want 500,000, how can you now have an estimate of your repayment? I've got a loan mortgage here that I will also share. And then these documents, I think Uvuyi will share with you guys, anybody maybe who wants to use these documents. I'll share with the organizers. Okay, then let me just show you this. It's very nice and easy. I got it from Absa Bank. So can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible. Loan
Perfect.
amortization.
Amortization, yes. So we will take Lerato's case study. So Lerato was looking to secure, why doesn't want to edit now? Secure 500,000. I'm trying to change here. Okay, I don't know. Oh yeah, 500,000. And then the current prime rate, I think it's 7.5. Any accountant, can you correct me? But I think the last time it moved from 5.5 to 7.5, or was it 7? Anybody who knows what's our prime rate now? Anyone? But I think 7.5. And then if your profile, you've got higher risk, you might end up being at 8 or 9, depending on your profile risk. So guys, here is the loan amortization.
Google says it's 7%.
Okay, thank you. Now it's even cheaper money, guys. You know, when I applied for my funding in 2013, prime was at 9. I got the funding at 9%. So this at 7% is cheap money, guys. This is the time where you need to get the loan. You should actually have applied for loans last year when it was 5%, 5.5. Thank you so much for sharing. So we are at 7, but it might differ, guys, because when you apply for funding, your personal credit score also affects this kind of loan amount. So very, very important. Get in touch with any of the institutions that assist with your credit scoring, assess your credit scoring, make sure that you maintain your credit scorings. So now the loan will say the average is about 5 years. You still get others that can extend to 7 years, but at average majority is about 5 years. Then we pay normally with the loans, we service the loans every month, it's 12 months a year. And then you start the loan, let's say, for example, you take the loan in June, and then you start paying it in July. So now our loan value is 500,000 with now the interest. The total interest, guys, is only 94,000 rand. Guys, imagine having 500,000 loan and then the interest is only 94,000. Go and compare your interest of the car and interest of the house, which in inverted commas, those are liabilities for us because we don't use them to make income. You know, we are paying those bonds with an interest. So now here with the business funding, guys, we are now getting it's an asset because we don't even service them. Our customers service the loans for us. Then your interest is only 94,000 rand for 5 years, you know. So an estimate of 5,000, you can repay 9,900. I know other people who will just spend 9,900 for, you can't even remember what you did with it. It's possible, guys, life happens, you know. So having 500,000 into your business and feel that it can increase the revenue, because we're still now gonna go to the revenue part to say, once you have this now amount in your business, you have more equipment. How much can you get? Okay. So I'm not sure if you are still following, if you still understand how the interest is calculated of the funding. So let me just pause here and just take some few questions on the exercise that we've just done now. Anybody who wants to understand how you can compile expenses and the interest on the loan? Any question, guys, or are we still following?
I think, let me just, okay, everyone's saying that they're still following.
Okay, I see Sandra's hand is up.
Hi, sorry. I just want to find out, does it apply for a passport foreign holder as well?
No, in South Africa, for you to acquire loans from government institutions, the business, as far as I know, the business needs to at least 60% majority of South African partner. Then with the banks, I think they will still require the same, because as the requirements from the CIPC, you will need to also have residential address for South Africa, but you can partner with a South African. Can somebody just correct me if the information, one of the accountants, if you work with registering? I just know that once you want to open an account in South Africa, if you are a passport holder, therefore you are from another country, you'll need to have a partner in South Africa. You won't be able to do it on your own. Are you covered, Sandra?
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. So now we'll go to the second part of our financial focus, which is now the revenue. Lerato, I'm hoping you can still be available to at least give us a guide or make us understand how will the 500,000 now grow your business, you know. So I think take this opportunity to also maybe fine tune on your funding application. You know, don't be shy. We are just helping each other here. Ne? So now, if you buy things for 500,000, how many weddings and events now can you host in a month? If anybody is also in events and management funded themselves, can you please maybe assist us to say, if now you've got this huge equipment, table, chairs, tents, and anything, what is the average of hosting weddings in a month?
It is sometimes dependent on the season. So you're likely to host maybe 2 or 3 weddings in the spring and summer season, but mostly the focus would be on renting them out every weekend to other event planners.
Okay, so now your business will be expanding. You'll also be hosting your own events coordination, but you'll also rent some of the equipments to events coordinators.
Yes.
So it makes sense then that your business revenue will kind of like improve. So roughly, what's your estimate current revenue or in your industry? If the business is doing well, what would you say it's kind of your benchmark, or what is your target?
Okay, I will use my own because I've done financials for last year, for 2020.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for sharing. I thought you'd be scared to share.
So my revenue for 2021 was like 300,000 plus. Yeah, I think it was about 300,000, and mostly it's because of the effects of COVID and so forth. And for this year, I've not done even management accounts as yet. So I can give you that figure that I'm sure of for last year. But then also it depends on the location. In Joburg, they charge more than us here in the rural areas. Yeah.
So 300,000 was a month or just for the year?
For the year, from after they opened up for events. Yeah.
So I'll just say, let's say COVID didn't affect you. It could have been maybe more. So can we say maybe in a year, you could be doing 500,000 in a year?
Yes. Yeah.
And in a month, it's about 41,000. Ne?
Yeah.
So now I'm not sure if you know your expenses.
My expenses are stationery, which is printing, flowers, because I do my own flowers. And it would be also equipment hire when I have to hire from other event planners, and petrol and transport hire as well.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the major expenses that I have when I've got to do events.
All right. So thank you, Lerato, for sharing that. Ne? So with any other business, you just need to sit down now and just estimate what will be your revenue. So go and interview other businesses, you know, just find ways to understand what is the potential revenue. So visit other businesses as well and just see if you want to open a restaurant, if maybe you are manufacturing, different detergents, go to those factories so that you can just understand what is the production. Then how much are they selling in a month? Because your revenue will need to at least be realistic. Don't just suck it according to what you feel you can push as a business, because once you open the doors, things are different. Nobody thought there'll be COVID, and it happened, and it affected a whole lot of businesses. So now, once you apply for funding, so those are the risks that the funders look into this business. So they have estimates because they've got clients that they service, with different businesses. So they know more than us. So it's very, very critical that you go out there to look for realistic figures. Then if you've got cost of sale, then you will include your cost. So cost of sale is mainly for people in manufacturing, people are producing a product. Like if maybe you are manufacturing fragrances, you are, doing catering, all the product, all the stock, if I can call it, anything that you buy, the packaging, that you buy for your product, then you need to also understand it's an expense, but it's the cost of sale because you use those raw materials to produce a certain product. Then once you get your expenses, you need to see if after effecting the loan repayment fee, will your business still now survive? Will the business be able to pay? Because the financier don't want to see you saying, I can make a plan to pay this. They want to see the business figures being able to pay, to service this. So it's not about if your business is open or not. Just the financial forecast is enough tool to make your application to be approved. So is this part, guys, is the crux of any business plan. A lot of entrepreneurs, they compile a business plan, those nice 10 pages, 15 pages. Now we forget this part. And when you get here, the other thing that you need to consider is the risk factor. For example, Lerato mentioned COVID happened, and things close down. Let's say COVID comes back again.
I will take my charger.
With COVID to say, anything can happen. So if now COVID comes back again, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't now apply for the funding now. If you're still thinking, what if COVID might happen? COVID might come back again, but now, what are the measures that you're going to put in place for your business to still survive and be able to service the loan? So now these are the questions that you need to sit down here and just plan properly. So one of the advices that the financier will give us to say, once you've done your business plan, try to see if you can have some money saved up, even if you save 10%, because that 10%, it will kind of help you to service the loan. Other financier can give you a 3-month break. That's why you need to read the terms and conditions of your loan before you apply, so that now you work towards this to say, okay, should there be a bad season, how can I now be able to service the loan without affecting anything on my agreement with any bank? So you need to sit down and try to understand. Some people will say, if the business doesn't do well or there's burglary in your business, they steal the material. So in these expenses, guys, we should even have an expense for insurance. So now you sit down with this, because once you do the application form, most of the banks, you will get an interview so that they go through to see if you understand your business and the risk that can be involved. Because any business, guys, there is a risk. It's not only the risk of you not making money, but it's a whole lot of other risks that are beyond your control. So now you need to just go through this and also make a provision to say, if let's say I don't make money for 3 months, how will I now survive? That's why now, if your cost for 500,000 is only going to equipment, we need to adjust it. Most financiers even guide you to say, you need to also apply for working capital, because they know that between the first to the month, other businesses take off very slow. Not that the business is bad, but it's in general that even if it's a good business model, but because it's a new business, it might take off very slow. And it doesn't mean that you must close shop. You can still open shop as long as you've got resources in place. That's why now once they say 500,000, it goes to all the equipments, they will say, you know what, you need a working capital. Plan for a working capital. So now you move from looking for 500,000 to now looking for 700,000, so that you've got enough to buy stock for at least 6 months. You've got enough to pay rent for 6 months, even if you're not making a profit. You've got enough to pay employees if you've got employees, so that the business can still continue. Because you might find that you are doing 20,000 first month, second month, third month. Then from fourth month, now you are doing 200,000. It's very possible. It's very high, but you must understand that sometimes when you don't have enough resources planned, you won't be able now to get to month 4, because month 2, your landlord will be on your case. Some, they will threaten you to close you down, switch off your electricity. Now you can't operate on the second month. It's already now impacting more on your business, So that's now that you need to understand that don't only, when you apply for funding, don't only look into the equipment or what you need to purchase. Also make give an allowance for at least 3 to 6 months, just to have that running budget for your monthly operations. The banks allow that. Working capital is also part of the fundable items. So now, once you see that your business is not making money, like it's in red, after you servicing this loan, you see that, what, I'm in red. You need to work it and understand to say now, it's either you need to reduce the amount that you want to loan, but realistically, so not just reducing it for the sake of just you want to adapt to this loan. A lot of the other experts, in the industry, they will say to you, work on the things that you need to change, the things that can be changeable. Your expenses, some of them, you can just have less expenses for the first 3 months up until your business is settled. If you wanted to employ 6 people in a business and your salary bill gets to 30,000, sometimes you don't need to start with 6 people. You can start the business with 3 people, allocate the jobs accordingly, because now what your business needed. If you need a receptionist and an accountant, sometimes you just need to find an administrator that can do both of the roles, so that you can save up on other of your operation, of your monthly expenses. If you cannot now control your expenses, now you need to go and increase your revenue. But now you cannot just go there and now try to reduce the loan amount that you want to take. The next thing, you cannot now operate your business because you are still not having enough funds. Because we know cash flow for a lot of businesses, that's what kills businesses. Once you don't have enough cash flow to buy stock, once you don't have enough cash flow to service your rent, to pay employees, you end up losing staff. You end up having to relocate where your business it's set. And changing location might have a bad effect on your business. So we need to understand to say, let's look into ways where you can still be able to have the business functioning, accommodating other things, but not affecting the core of the business, the monthly operations, because once that is affected, that will also affect your turnover. Now you won't be able to service the loan. So before you apply for any funding, I will highly advise to say, look into your business thorough. Look into the revenue. How can you improve the revenue? How will now having more tents, expand your business? So if you see that there's an opportunity to also now venture into another business where you are now renting the equipment, not only focusing on being the one that is organizing, planning the weddings, servicing the weddings, then you can also now incorporate other items in your business so that you don't just focus on one stream of income, because otherwise it's going to just drain your business and you will feel that your business is not making enough income to be able to afford to take up the funding. And the funding, what I've experienced with acquiring the funding, it helps you to run the business better. If you get a wedding to organize today, or now you get a contract for supplying cleaning materials, once you don't have access to get the stock and service that, you might even lose that business. So you've opened this business, you've started this business, but lack of resources might now hamper your growth, or you might disappoint clients, or you might now not mix in a good formula because you are trying now to save on the resources that you have. Now you won't get repeat business. So once you've got enough resources in the business, once you've got enough health cash flow, you are now able to focus in other elements. You can now look into marketing. Marketing is not cheap. A lot of us, we feel that, no, we are on Facebook, I can do it for free on my own. That's not enough marketing just to be on Facebook. Marketing needs a budget. You know, the banners that you see people do is not just a nice tool to have. It's very important for your business. You know, having a Wi-Fi at work, you know, fiber, it's very important, because once you've got a stable network, you're able to service your clients better. You know, once you've got enough resources, you can see the impact, the contribution of those resources into your business. So the funding helps you now to focus on the main core of the business. There's nothing painful and time wasting like a business that doesn't have enough funding into the business, because you end up calling Paul for Peter, people disappoint you. You know, now something that you can do for 2 minutes, you end up now doing for 3 days, because you don't have enough money just to go and pay for that invoice so that you can service your client. Now you call this person invite you for a meeting. The next thing, they don't honor the funds that they say they're gonna honor. Now they've wasted your time. You know, so those are the things to say, you know what, once you've got enough funding, you can get good equipment for your business, so that your production can grow. You know, you can hire people so that they can do, you know, the job that can be done now. It can be done twice fast than if you are just alone in the business, because as the business owners, being alone in the business delays progress. You know, affects the potential revenue that you should be receiving in the business. So the last document that I'm going to share with you now is on the business plan. A lot of us, we hate that business plan. I know there's always a debate about, no, business plan doesn't work. You don't need a business plan to run the business. You can still run a business without a business plan. It's true, you can run a business without a business plan. You know, nobody's forcing anybody to have a business plan, but once you are a business and you have a business plan, you plan better, because now you know what is required in your business. You stick to those commitments because you know that they are required. It's not just nice to have. So now, for the purpose of funding, it's a must that you submit it. So in this session, it's very critical that you compile a business plan, because you want to access funding. So systems are there so that they can work properly and fairly for everybody. It's a guide, you know, for the companies, they are requesting it. So as entrepreneurs, sometimes we delay ourselves trying to argue with the systems. You know, if the systems are there and you want to gain something, you know, there's a lot of platforms where we can query, question, debate the systems. But if you need funding today, and you go to NEF and they tell you that you need to submit a business plan, do your business a favor, submit the business plan. Then once you've gotten the money, now you don't have pressure. Now there are other platforms that we can just go and query and tell them, no, this is not right, they need to change this, because this application form, they always get updated, because I think the public inputs matters as well. So now the business plan template that I will share, you can get any other, it's not like it's only this one that okay, now I don't see it. Okay, let me just find it. So guys, a business plan, like any other business, if you join a new work, you will be given a file of all policies. Somebody, can you just confirm if you can see my screen?
Can you open the document? It's not open yet.
Okay, let me start it again. Okay. Okay, share screen. Okay. Is it open now?
Yes, it's open.
Okay, thank you. All right. So you'll just see the context of the business plan: executive summary, business description, industry, product definition, market strategy, competition, operations management, and the financial component. So we've done the financial component. So now this one is straightforward. The reason why I love this template, it's easier for me because it asks me questions, unlike you get a form and then just say, give us executive summary. And some of us, we will battle to understand what exactly the banks want to see. So this one, I love it because it just gives you questions, like what is the nature of your business? So if you are producing gowns, then you can just write there. I saw Mandy, she runs a boutique, a gowns boutique. So you write there, what's the product, what products will be offered by the business, who's your target market, So this one is just the simple executive summary, guys. So I won't go much into details. And then your business description. So here is just your legalities and the structure and the location of your business. So the nice thing about a business plan, it makes you now think more about your business, because some of the business we can offer more, but we end up being limited because we are not familiar or we've not done a proper research. A lot of us, we start businesses, but we always not invest a lot into research. So for me, business plan, it's just a tool that assists me to do more research. So you don't have to do this only for funding purposes. I like, please, if you don't have any business plan, go and do a business plan for your business. You're gonna come out understanding your business even better. Then the business plan is not like once you've done it, it's final. You're gonna now start meeting other people who can input into your business operations. Now you come back and just modify your business plan. Some of us, we start a business and we are thinking that, I'm just only servicing this clientele. And then along the way, you realize more opportunities. It doesn't mean that you cannot go and amend your business plan. But once you've done a business plan, you will now understand your business better. And it also helps your financier to understand your business. Because remember, we can all be in events management, but we might not run for the same target market. Some are in corporate, some are just to individuals, some they service only events coordinators. So it can be events management company, but we operate on different scale. So you need to understand your business. And for me, I feel that the business plan is a tool that is there to help you understand the business, not only to unlock the funding. And then the third one is your industry. So anybody in any business other than Lerato, do you know your industry insights? Do you know what has been happening post-COVID? What has changed in your industry? I'm in the food. One thing that we've seen changing in the food industry, most of the food outlets, they now give service delivery. Most of them have now even incorporated WhatsApp ordering. You can even get menu on WhatsApp. It's something that was not happening post-COVID. You didn't see Ubers and Mr. Delivery servicing other franchise outlets like your Debonets and Steers. But now we've partnered, Mr. Uber and Mr. D, they've now even partnered with township businesses. You find a quarter outlet now on Mr. Uber Eats or Mr. Delivery or Uber Eats. So you can see that things have just changed drastically in the fast food space. So you need to go and understand your industry, what has been happening for the past 5 years, and what are the plans for the next 5 years. Because your industry, guys, they share things on Google. There are other organizations and bodies where you can subscribe to get the newsletter so that you can also prepare your business better. So you don't want to be taken by surprise, because things are out there, but once you don't get to find this information, you will always be left behind of what's happening in your industry. And sometimes it disadvantages your growth in your business. Then your product definition. Some of us, we start a business, we are starting with one product, but we don't even know that the same product, you can diversify it. You can offer different offering. You cannot just only concentrate on one clientele. I got a call recently from another events coordinator. They do corporates, and they were saying, because I sell perfumes, to say, you can maybe quote us on perfumes. We would like to gift our women, because it's Women's Month. Then we are doing gift hampers. For me, I was not even targeting events coordinators or any other. I was just selling fragrances, and I did gift bags. For me, those gift packages were just for consumers. I didn't think that another company could see that and see as an opportunity to use my service. So those are the things that sometimes you limit your knowledge of your product. So once you do research, you'll end up now meeting other ideas that you never thought your business could take that channel. So take this opportunity, guys, to do a business plan so that you can learn about your industry better and also learn about competitors. Guys, we should not pass. Other people think that you should not even visit your competitors. If you are selling food, visit other food outlets, see how they present their menus, see how they serve their customers. What is the time period for clients to wait for their order, so that you can now understand and go and see in your business to say, what are the lessons that I can take to my business? So it's very important that you understand the product so that you know how you can maximize your business offerings. And then your market definition. So guys, all of this information on this business plan, it's on different business plan, it's on Canva. It's just that on Canva is just a summary. But with a business plan, the nice thing that I love working on a business plan, it's more into detail. So that you can just have to think and apply your mind into your business and understand it much, much better. Then on your market definition, they always say, when you've done your market definition, you should see your customer just by working. Then you should know, this is my customer. That's how well they will say your business. So now, so that even if you advertise on social media or you do news, a magazine advert or any print media advert or radio advert, you need to understand who is your customer, who's the target market, so that whatever communication that you are sending out, the message is clear, the message is relevant, the message will be understood. Because some of us, we just go to social media every day, but you'll find that, at social media, you are even wasting your time. That's not where you should be, So it's very important that once you understand who's your buyer at the end of the day, so now you need to tailor make or your user. So it's very important that how you say your message, how you comply your advert, the colors that you'll be using, the graphics, it's very, very important. That's why some of the posters you see on social media, you say, I won't attend this event, just by the judgment of a poster. You don't know whether it's a 5-star event, but just the judgment of the poster on social media, already you will tell yourself you are not attending this event. So the same applies with any other business. People look into that business the way you look into other communication that is shared about other businesses. So even your marketing strategy, once you have a business, it's not as if every day you wake up and say, okay, today I'm posting A, B, C, and D, or today I'm doing a flyer. You need to have a proper strategy. These are the elements that when you apply for funding, the funder wants to know, because they want to know what will you put in place to grow sales into your business. They know that there are other activities or marketing activities that can drive sales. There are others that can just be there for awareness, but they are building into sales. So you need to put this strategy. And for me, I will always say, don't only do strategies for funding, because business needs to grow, whether fundable or not. You still, whether funded or not funded, the business still need to grow. So have a marketing strategy. Sit down. If you don't know how to compile a marketing strategy, meet with other people. There are so many service providers who provide such services. Sit down with somebody, go and pay for that service so that you can get value for your business. You can be able to grow your business. And then on competition, guys, any business, there's always competition. Don't say, no, I'm starting this, it's new. No, I don't have any business, there is competition. You just need to understand who's your competition and how now to survive through that competition. Other people, I know, they don't like to start other businesses because they feel that market is saturated. But you still, till today, you still find other brands bathing water business. And you ask yourself, why are there's so many water available? Why do we still have other businesses coming to sell water? Guys, the market is huge. We are servicing not only South African market in South Africa, we are servicing a whole lot of other markets. So you cannot not take an opportunity or a business that is good just because you feel that market is saturated. You just need to understand who's your competition and understand how you're gonna do your business better. But you cannot now be out of business because you feel that there's competition. And competition will always be there. Even if it's a new business, there'll always be competition. So you just need to understand the competition and be able now to understand the weaknesses of your competition and what advantage as well that you have amongst your competitors. And then on the operation management, once you set up a business, a lot of financiers, they want to fund a business, not a self-employed business. They want to fund a business that can have proper operational structure, because they know that any business, guys, without a proper structure, it's high risk. Any business with only one employee, it's even higher risk. So now here you need to be very careful and understand the components on the operation. So once you want a business funding, you are not just getting that to create jobs, but you need to put in a better structure that can support your business so that your business can still make that revenue and be able to service customers, so that you don't have, a crisis to service your funding. So once you want to expand your business and get this funding, you also need to understand what will be the requirements maybe for employing people, because you will need now to employ people. Funders, guys, is very rare where they will fund a business that it still has one employer. One employee. They always share that. So that's why I was saying, get to understand the requirements, because once it's only yourself as working into the business, already that's a high risk, because reality, let's be realistic, anything can happen to you anytime, to anybody, guys. So so now imagine the funders now, they funded your business, the next thing you go AWOL, they cannot even find you. So it put them in a very difficult situation. As much as you can have a good business idea that they can see that, this business can be viable. But now, once you don't have proper structures, it gives them a discomfort. So once you want to access funding, sit down, not that you must just hire for the sake of hiring, but the chances are, even if you just hire one person, it can assist, because once you get funding, it says your business has a potential to grow. So now there will be more responsibilities into your business. As one person, you will not be able to service all of those tasks that your business will need. You need to now generate more sales. You need to look into compliance. You need to look into this and this and that. So at least if this business can create at least one employment, so that you can just sit down and also define the tasks and responsibilities on your operation. So you'll need to sit down and share, like how corporate does. Remember, there's an employment structure where it says who's the organogram. You just need to have an organogram. Share responsibilities, and it must be realistic. There's no way that the receptionist can go out and look for sales and this and that just because you want to save money to pay employees. You just need to have enough and sufficient operation personnel to run the business with you. So now this is a guide that you can also look into the labor department if you don't know what other jobs that you can create in your company. Labor has a nice table sheet for all industries and even their salary scale. If you just go to the Department of Labor website, they will give you a whole lot of job according to the industry criteria, and also you'll be able now to see the salary scale, to do the proper budget, and also find out the qualification criteria. It's not only about university qualifications, but also the experience that that job will require. So it's very important here that you need to submit a business plan that has a proper operations and management structure. So once you don't have it here, it kind of when they do the scoring, it kind of also takes a huge chunk of the scoring for the qualification of the budget, of the funding. Then the last component, that's what we've done.
Bathabile, sorry, a
Hello?
quick question. So I want to find out, so are you saying that if you're a solo entrepreneur, the solution would be when you are, asking for funding, that you would show when it comes to the management and staff, that should you get the funding, these are then the opportunities or the jobs that become available. These are the possible roles, possibly one or two people, maybe your admin who would cover other things, and maybe a salesperson or a technician who can support. So is that what you're suggesting that one does if you're a solo entrepreneur looking for funding?
Yes. Correct. And also show the requirements for their positions and the roles. So you'll kind of make as if you are doing in HR, they call a job specification, I think.
Okay.
And then it also show the salaries, because that will be part of your expenses. Their salaries will be part of the expenses. Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. Awesome. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then the last part, it was the part of the financials that we did. Where you show if you are an existing business, you will need to show your past 12 months financials. Get an accountant if you don't have any financials to assist you, or do it on your own. And then you'll also need to show the 5-year forecast. So normally with the 5-year forecast, you will just complete your 12 months, the way I was showing you month 1, month 2, month 3, there's not much of other items will be fixed, like your rental is a fixed expense, electricity will be variable, salaries might be fixed for a year, then the following year, then that prices escalate. So even on your revenue side, the prices will escalate. Normally it's between 7 and 10%, then your expenses also will escalate. Your rental always escalate by about 6% to 10% in other instances. Your electricity will definitely escalate, and other things. And then you will now show other expenses, even if now how much you are paying, like at the end, you can also include the tab for your tax, because as you know, any business in South Africa, we are liable, guys, to pay our tax. If you are VAT registered, you'll need to also accommodate such expenses that you are collecting money on behalf of SARS, and then every 2 months you'll need to file and pay that money into SARS. So that Excel, you can just add all your other expenses for the business. I was just sharing some of them, but it's not all, because our businesses are not the same. So it's very critical that you understand those documents and you compile them, and don't just compile them for the sake of, no, you just want to get funding. I will just say, even if now you are still starting your business, compile those documents, understand, because they help you understand your business better. Even if you're gonna look for funding, you will know how much funding you need. You will know how the funding can help you grow the business, because the purpose of you getting the funding, you wanna grow the business. Nobody just wanna grow the business, get the loan and not grow the business. You want to see a better revenue on that investment, because once you get money, you are investing into a business. So you want to see returns for your investment.
Heidi has a question.
Okay.
Heidi, I'm not sure if you want to unmute yourself and just ask Bathabile directly.
Hi, Bathabile. I just wanted to ask, if I am a solo entrepreneur, I have no employees, right? I'm a consultant, and I build platforms, and I'm in the IT industry, and I do project management of campaigns and huge builds, right, for IT builds. So I only hire freelancers when and if I need them from time to time. So I pay myself a salary every month from my business account into my personal account. But I've been wondering, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, if I should pay UIF, and because I do pay tax and I do pay business tax, but do I have to still do UIF? I don't know. Okay. And also, if I do hire freelancers, do I have any expense, anything extra to pay? Because I pay what they invoice me and Clar, but is there anything that you're supposed to do for freelancers if they do long-term contracts? Like if I hire someone for 6 months or a year as a freelancer for a specific contract for a few hours a month, do I have to do UIF, those kind of things for, let's call them casuals, even if it's IT people.
Okay. All right. So any of the director, once you are working in your business, you are the first employee. Your employee number is 00. So you still, I will advise to say, take the UIF, because remember, should you get injured at work during your working hours, let's say you are servicing a campaign somewhere, it comes with a benefit because you were at work. So it doesn't mean that once you work for yourself, therefore you cannot be getting other benefits. So, and the UIF is about 1% of your salary, so it's not really a lot. And the UIF also contributes towards your insurance. So it's very, very important to say, let's treat our businesses, even if you were not paying yourself every month, because sometimes business is difficult, you know, and it doesn't matter. Even if you are just earning 3,000 from your business, still register yourself with the Department of Labor, because you work in the business. So that should you get any, you know, injured, or sometimes you cannot even work anymore, you can go and claim for that money. You know, it will kind of help you just to go by while you're still starting another business or looking for employment. We are not saying take it because the business will fail. No. It's just that it will assist you, you know. It's one of the benefits because you've created employment for yourself. And then for the contractors, you know, other people will say they are 6 months. So the freelancers, their contract is very tricky because you need to see how many hours, because remember with labor, it will stipulate to say if somebody has worked more than 24 hours, even if it's in a month, even if they come 4 hours in a week, once they work over 24 hours, they still need to be registered with UIF. So now once they go 6 months, they're no longer just contractors, you know, sort of. Somehow, if you look into the contract, you might find that we are doing that to avoid all other expenses. But if you sit down with an HR person, they will let you know to say, you know what, this contract, it must actually be a permanent contract because of the number of hours. Because remember, with consultants, sometimes independent contractors, sometimes they work more hours. Now, when you convert those hours in a month or in a year, you'll find that this person actually should now be an employee, even if they're not based in your premises every day. But because of the number of hours that you save. So the best people, guys, to advise, I will say, contact the labor department. They're actually very good. Hey, you just submit that contract, you say, please check for me. They will do it. You know, some, they even come to your premises. They love restaurant because we are in the malls. So every 6 months, there's a labor person coming. Even last month, we had a visit, you know. So if you need their number, I can share the number of the one that visited us. Let's say, she's very nice, hey. So remember, guys, labor department as entrepreneurs, we should not run away from labor department. They are there to help us so that they can correct us. If there's something wrong, they correct us, they show us, they even give us contacts to say, who can help you to fix this problem? So we should actually be friends with labor department. They are not like inspectors who wants to put us in jail. So you can just, you know, ask them to say, can you just advise for me on this contract? They will refer it to somebody, look into it and advise you properly. So there will be more details to look into it, just to say, no, this one is a contract or it's a freelancer. Is it fine, Heidi?
Very, very, very fine. I thank you very much.
All right. Let me see if I've got Lesokho's. Yeah, I've got Lesokho's numbers here. She works for labor. Then you can maybe just drop them because those are work.
But I'm in Cape Town.
Yeah, they will guide you. They will give you somebody in Cape Town.
All right, fantastic.
They're very nice. Even when they've got these road shows, you know, I will drop her number now. It's a work number. So you can just get in touch and just ask them to say who can assist you with this contract. I'm trying to write here on the message, but I don't see the chat box. I don't know. Okay. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Is there any other question? Guys, can I just ask a question? Why is that there are so low applications for funding in the institutions, but yet as entrepreneurs we say we need funding? Why are we not applying for funding? What are our fears about funding? Because we've seen the reports every day. The funders go out there and say, we are looking for small businesses that we can fund. Because remember, funders, guys, they sell money. They make money when we take off their and their funding. So now, if they don't have enough clients, now they can't meet their targets. They can't make money because remember, we pay interest. Then you find entrepreneurs saying we need funding. So why is that there is not enough match of funders and entrepreneurs accessing funding? Hi, Heidi.
Yeah, me again. You asked a very straightforward question. Why are you afraid to ask for money? Why are you afraid to apply for funding? I think we want money for free. We don't want to pay back. And secondly, we are scared of interest. I mean, I'm being honest. You asked a straight question.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But okay, but to be honest, all of my I've been running my business for 6 years now. I'm self-funded. I was selling my skills and my brains and my knowledge to make my income. So I've gotten to a point where I'm now fully fledged a consultant, and I charge for my skills and my knowledge, right? So the only reason I would need funding is to expand my business and hire staff and to expand my operations, because I'm getting a lot more work, which one person cannot handle alone. However, not being familiar with the whole loaning thing, how to do it. I see your loan schedule document with the amortization table. It looks so easy. It looks like you can see exactly what you're paying and what you're getting. So that does take a lot of the fear of, oh my God, I owe so much money. I owe. So the fear. I can't help it. I'm afraid of being in scope, you know. But I'm sure that if the plan is clear and the payment plan is clear, the payback plan is clear, then you know what you're working for and you know what to do. But I think I've just been like scared to be in debt.
Okay. No, definitely. I think I've also had those couple of comments when you say, why don't you take a loan for your business because you need it? And then a lot of people will say, oh, I don't want to take a loan. What if I can't service the loan? And you know, with the funding loan, the nice thing about funding for business, you as an entrepreneur, you don't pay it. Customers pay it. Your clients pay it. Do you understand the concept? Remember, you are going to service, you know, a customer or any of your clients. So now, when they pay your service, you already made a markup, and the loan is under your expenses. It's not like it's money that will be coming from you. It's money that will be coming from the clients into the business. So we shouldn't be really, if you feel that your business is growing, and you can see that you are getting a lot of customers. Sometimes you cannot even service those customers. Let's say Lerato, she's in entertainment. Now she misses to service because you, as much as you're in the rural areas, there's nothing stopping you to be servicing 3 events in Gauteng. Because now with social media and internet, you can just advertise your business and you should be mobile. You should have a truck that can put your equipment and you can go anywhere. And you should have enough equipment so that you can service different clients. So now the fear of taking this loan, it might also now hamper your business growth, because a lot of small businesses, we start and look in 10 years, where are we with our growth? Most of us, we are still more or less where we started, you know, because we are scared now to expand the business because we are looking. But most of us here, we've got home loans. If you can sit down and go and calculate the interest in your home loan, just on the 1,000 rand, guys, I've just done it now. On the 1 million rand, the home loan interest in 20 years is 860,000. Then if you take a loan for business, 1 million rand, the interest on the 1 million rand for 5 years is 188,000. So I think we just need to shift our mind and just understand to say, a business loan is not as bad, because one, we don't pay it ourselves, clients assist us to pay, and it's cheaper because it's 5 years. So anything, any loan that you take it at a shorter term becomes cheaper than any amount that you take in long term. And remember, with the house, guys, the bond is not only the expense. There's still so many maintenance that you do to the house on a yearly basis. So if you look into that expense, so as much as how many people have home loans, if we can manage to take home loans, even a car loan, guys, is more expensive than a business loan. So we should not be scared to look into business funding, because one, once you've got enough resources in your business can grow. Once you've got enough staffing, you've got enough stock, you've got enough machinery, you become faster, your prices becomes more competitive, so sit down and look into a business. You'll find that by the time you inject funds into your business, you can even reduce your prices, because some of the businesses are not growing because you are too expensive. And we want to justify like, no, it's my skill. It's not really your skill. It's because your production cost is expensive. If you were not outsourcing, you could be now having competitive price so that you can attract more customers. So sit down and assess your business. You will see that, even this 9,000 rand, you can afford to pay it even now, before you even grow your business. If you just sit down with your expenses and your revenue, you could see that, if I cut even an office expense that I'm renting, you can work from home. Some businesses, guys, you can convert your garage, work from home, cut that rental space. Then you'll see that, I can still afford to pay this loan before even it has any impact into my business. Then after 3 months, where you see that your sales are growing because now you've injected more resources into your growth, now you can go back and rent another space. Remember, guys, this spaces is not like the unlimited. You can even find a better office space, So it's once you've got enough resources in your business, that's where you can see more growth and actually now see that you've got money in your business coming in. But now when we are living from hand to mouth as small businesses, we can't see any growth for it. You cannot even implement anything that can be good for your business. Now you are even afraid to expand, because once you start expanding, it needs money. And you are now, you are there in a small town and thinking that, no, my customers is only people here in Kuruman or here people in Uppington. But your clients might be in Cape Town, your clients might be in Joburg, who can now pay more for your service, who can use your service more frequently. But you are just now limiting your growth and limiting running your business so that you can get now more revenue. So let's not be scared, guys, to take any of the funding. Just do your risk assessment, do your financial needs, so that you can understand to see what is that the loan amount can also help your business to grow. So do proper analysis so that you can see, with this business loan, you can grow your business much, much better. Are we still scared, guys, to go and take business loans?
Not anymore.
So, guys, it's not bad, guys.
Yeah.
I've taken 1 million rent. I've taken 2.5. I shared last year on social media. Even during COVID, guys, I paid Netbank off. During COVID, I was still managing to service the loan. I even shared at some point to say, the nice thing about, so now the benefits, before we get to the other financial institution, let me share some of the benefits that I personally had experienced taking the loan, other than having enough equipment, enough stock, enough employees to help me run the businesses. The loan has also assisted me, guys, to access other opportunities. So during COVID, what happened in the retail space, in the franchising, in the food, actually, there's a food organization that took the insurances to court because they tried to claim. I didn't claim. Other companies tried to claim, and the insurance rejected their claim. So their claim, it was under natural disaster. COVID, guys, was declared natural disaster. Now, on our insurance schedule, natural disaster is it's one of the items that is covered, under the insurance when they quote us. Now the insurance didn't want to pay, but we were paying premium, including natural disaster. So an organization and alliance took the insurance to court and they won the case. Now the insurance had to pay our restaurants the claims. So I got a call from the bank to say, you know what, you need to submit, because when I took the funding, even though we know that you still need to take an insurance, sometimes we forget to take business insurance. So with the banks, once you get the loan, it's a must that you have an insurance for the business. So one of the benefits, they will force you to take things that can help you into the business. If I didn't, it was not a force. Sometimes, guys, we cancel insurances. So, so I had to keep my insurance because it's part of the loan requirement. Then I got a call from the bank to say, you know what, you need to submit your insurance claim. And I didn't even understand to say, okay, what is this insurance claim? I didn't submit. I didn't even know that we need to submit for natural disasters. Then they educated me to say, no, this is what happened. So this is the letter. Now you just need to submit your expenses for the business. My business got 500,000 from the insurance claim. So imagine if I didn't have any funding, I was using my money. Sometimes things get hard. And when things get hard, sometimes you cancel insurance. We know, even with the car, we've canceled car insurance, we've canceled home insurance because sometimes we are so under pressure. So insurance, guys, is one of the items that we normally go for. So even for me, I feel that if the business, because there were times where business was hard, so I could have canceled the insurance. When you look into an expenses, insurance is one of the things that you look into to say, I'm canceling it. So the insurance guys paid out. So I could now be able to pay all our employees, guys, were paid, during COVID. Even when they were at home, we pay them. Then we always managed, when we came back, remember we had to put all the stock of the business, because with the food, we closed during COVID. And it was months, and when we closed rice, it was the 26th or 28th. Guys, we had just received stock. Month end in the food industry, you buy so much stock. So imagine I had to close my business with so much stock that I had to throw away when I came back. I was not going to have money to buy more stock. So I had to get more stock. I had to now even do all the disinfection, buy extra uniform for the team. So it was a whole lot of expenses, guys, that we had to incur. Fumigate, do this, do that. It was a whole lot of money that in the restaurant sector, when we were reopening, we had to do. And remember, we were not making an income for a month. So that really helped my business. And when I applied for my home loan, because I sold my house when I was starting my first business. So half was my own cash, then half was the loan that I got from the National Empowerment Fund. So when I was applying for my house, because I was now under the Nedbank facility, the Nedbank, my loan consultant, transferred my profile to home loan. So when I was doing my home loan, it was much easier. I didn't have to go through different banks. They helped me to qualify for my bond. So they will come, call me. The application form was so much easier. I've done 2 application forms for previous properties. So this one was so much better because I got a dedicated home loan consultant to work on my profile because I had a business loan. So those are the benefits that we wouldn't just get if you don't associate with the banks. And the other thing is that once you are now associated with the bank, remember, they need to see you succeeding. Now you are business partners with these loans. So the benefit that I also got, they will make sure that my business is always compliant. They will call me every month. They will check my turnovers. They will revenue for that month. They will check if I've paid my SARS, check my insurance schedule. They want all those things, your UIF. So they help you. So you now have an accountability partner. We see every day on social media, somebody saying, can you be my mentor? Guys, a mentor is not just somebody who will be a mentor to you by the name. They need to give you that support even when you are not there. A mentor will be just sharing some knowledge for you, guiding you, giving you opportunities. So the banks, guys, for me, has been that. And even with NEF, it was not only with Nedbank. They've got post-mortem department where after they've given you the loans, now they move you to that post-mortem where they see if you are servicing the loan. So sometimes if your sales are not good, they will be giving you advices. Because remember, as the bank's team. They've got your marketing expert. They work with different brands. They will invite us to conferences where you've got your Nando's, you've got this and that. They're coming to share with you. Imagine you are running your restaurant. Now you get to now sit with this expert in different industries, learning into your industry now to understand how they make sales, how they manage their business better, you know. So they've got legal team, they've got HR personnel who can just help you and give you free advice that you don't pay to. With NEF, they paid for my policies. Policy, guys, the invoice was about 62,000. They paid for all the policies of my business was done by NEF. They paid those consultants. You know, I didn't have to pay extra. There will be a budget where they even give you for marketing materials. That just comes for free as an additional. When things were bad, there was a time where when load shedding was starting in 2013, it was all over the news. I just opened my restaurant 3 months down the line. There was so like a bad load shedding. I didn't know that I qualify for a loan repayment break. Funding, guys, it also comes with loan repayment breaks. So now they'll give you a break. You don't pay that loan for 3 months. Then they will extend it maybe to another 3 to 6 months. You know, the money that you're supposed to pay. So those are the things, guys, that gives your business some relief. You know, gives the business that support that you need. Because once you cannot pay maybe for those months, things like the revenue is not good, you know, and there's some complications, you can just go and sit with them. You know, with same as with NetBank, I didn't know that automatically with the funding, you know, you also get, what do they call it? A revolving credit, if I can call it that way. So now there was a debit that went through my account. It was a huge amount, I think 170 or something, you know. So with that debit, because remember in the restaurant, there's so much stock and then you're paying royalties. I think that month they all came at the same day and they should be in different dates. I don't know what had happened to my account. So they all came in the same month. I mean, in the same day. Then I was panicking to say, yo, if this amount bounces, so I'm not going to get stock for the following week because I'm still owing for this week. And I got a call from NetBank to say, no, we see that you've got this X amount negative into your bank. So with the loan account, you've got about a week, 5 working days. So it can even be 7 because they don't count Saturday and Sunday for you to rectify, because as soon as you do those deposit into the accounts, then the amount will go back, but we won't be retaining any of the debit orders. So guys, imagine now, if you are not in partnership with such institutions, sometimes you will never know what you've got access to, you know. So for me, the partnering with the financial institutions has really helped me grow, not only in business, even on personal level. You know, you get now to network with other entrepreneurs, which leads you to open more doors for your business. Because in business, guys, it doesn't only end in us posting on social media. Business wants us to grow it in different ways. It needs new networks. So if you are alone as an entrepreneur, it's very difficult just to get out and look for those networks. It's not cheap, guys, to get networks, and the right networks for that matter. So it's an expensive exercise. Sometimes you will have to fly to Durban just to go and network. Not that, guys, people fly to Durban for just to go have fun. You know, people fly to go and just have fun. So there's no way that you can see as going to Durban as a wasteful expenditure in your business. That's how you grow networks, because the closer you know other people, you understand their business, they understand your business. That's how you create relationship. Business, guys, starts with a relationship. How you get a business sale, it starts with a relationship. You know, so those exercises are very expensive. You know, so the banks create those platforms for us. You network with other entrepreneurs. That's how I actually now got to be in another business. During lockdown, restaurants were closed. And when I saw the eucalyptus oil, then I shared with my banker. I was just joking. You know, we're just sharing the stressful environment. And he said to me, you know what? I know a company that manufactures eucalyptus oil. Guys, that's how I got a direct supplier, a farmer, because the farmer banks with the bank. You know, and now as I was sharing with my, you know, my banker to say the challenges of the business, the restaurants were closed down, and I told him that, no, I've started selling the eucalyptus oil, and then we're just talking, and we got to talk about suppliers. I told him, no, I'm still being supplied here in Gauteng, even the margins are not that good, you know, but I'm pushing it. It's volume gain. And he gave me the details of, guys, where I was buying my eucalyptus oil, Reckitt Penkisa buys there as well. You know, a big pharmaceutical company buys there. So I got to be now on that manufacturer list because of the relationship that I had with the bank. So those are the things that for me personally to say, you know what, associating with the banks has really helped me in so many different ways. You know, not only giving me their money, but also the support that I will get after that, and also guiding me and, you know, linking me up with other opportunities. And I'm hoping that one day you will have fear, you'll have the fear to be less in terms of now getting to associate yourself with the banks. Guys, we use credit cards, we use clothing accounts. Funding for business is not the same. And the nice thing about business funding, the financier wouldn't fund your business if they don't feel that is the right model. It can be a business that can be able to afford to repay its loan. So once you get approval, it says that your business has 99% of surviving. You know, your business is a good model because they analyze, they've got different tools to analyze and assess your business profile and the loan needs. So once they approve it, it should comfort you to say, you know what, this business can service this loan. So you should not be worried about anything to say, what if the business fails? Yes, business is a risk on a daily basis. Even if you are not funding it with the loan, even if you're self-funding it, it's a risk in any way. So you should not just not limit yourself to access opportunities because you feel that the business might not do well.
Tsepiso has a question, a comment and a question. Tsepiso, are you available to go off mute?
Yes, thank you so much for the information. That's really very insightful. So my experience, and maybe it's where it's a different angle, but if you can just listen, you might be able to advise. So I run two businesses. One is in engineering and maintenance, and all of that, and the other one is in detergents. So in running that, we then got a tender to supply machinery in one company. So the machinery was quite costly, even though we had funds in the company which had applied for this particular funding. We then decided, okay, let's rather apply for a loan so that we can finance this machinery and still have our funds available to run all the other expenses. So we applied for that loan with the bank that we use for banking, and it was rejected. Now, I am not too sure, and you have mentioned in terms of relationships and all of that. We have been running this business from 2012, and we are banking with this bank from 2012. Until today, we have been trying to understand the reasons why that loan was rejected. We still cannot get the right answer in terms of why that loan was rejected. And we then had to come up with either our own savings and other means and ways to finance that, because we didn't want to touch what we usually utilize in our business in terms of our expenses to finance this particular project. And mind you, never mind the other business that we do in maintenance, for example, we would have contracts with companies to maintain certain buildings and all of that. So there is running business. It's not like the business is stagnant. So, you know, I'm a bit worried when it's so positive, and I do not have that experience, unfortunately.
True, no, that's a sad one. Hey, and it happens. I don't want to lie. I started my business in 2013. I was banking with an ex-bank. I won't mention their name because it will be like now you know, being nasty to this bank. And to be honest, sometimes we are so loyal to the banks that are not loyal to us. It's not only on business, even for housing. You'll be getting your salary from this bank for 20 years. And then when you want to apply for home loan, they reject you. And they can't even give, because as you were talking, I was making notes to say, did you get any reason why they rejected you? Because like any other credit application, when you get rejected, they should give you a reason. There should be a reason somewhere, whether it's a letter or an email, like how you apply for a car. They will tell you that you are overexposed, a home loan, your expenses are too high. That's why the estate agent will come back and say, no, reduce your expenses. Don't write that you've got a helper. Don't put too many expenses of grocery, because it comes with an indicator. It's very now a consent to say, why will they reject you and not even give you a reason? If maybe your credit profile was not good, they should have told you. And it's not as if all rejections cannot be fixed, because that's what I was gonna say. Can you just get to understand why did they reject you? Because any rejection, you can still reapply. When I was doing my funding with NEF, I had a judgment. I had a judgment with RCS. It's a credit card. So most when you start working, you get excited, you get credit cards, you are finishing a townhouse, and then unfortunately I was bad in paying it and I got blacklisted. Then NEF picked that up with my application. They gave me a feedback to say, you've got a judgment for this. Please go and fix it and then reapply. Then I got an advice, because I called NEF to say, what can I do in this regard? They said, no, get in touch with your credit card, understand how much you owe or what's happening. Then if you can settle it, then bring us that later. That's what I was gonna advise next, to say, even if you've got bad credit record, it doesn't stop you from now accessing funding. There's ways that you can rectify. I worked, currently I've been working with Zoluse Financial Institution. You can check Uzibu, she will check your credit profile and then give you an advice which ones how to pay, because as the director of the company, your profile, your personal profiles affect your business. So you need to look into such to say, how do I rectify my record? Even the banks, I've been working with another bank. In my book, I can even share, it's Absa Bank. So I was doing a research with them to ask them to say, what are the remedies that are there in your institutions to guide people with bad credit records? So they disclose to say, if you've got a bad credit record, they will advise to go and look into that, then give it about 6 months. So go and restructure repayments with those creditors, then stick to those repayments. Then you can bring those statements, then they can have a look if they had rejected you before. Because it's under rehabilitation. You cannot be, on judgment. Because remember, judgment is 5 years. Even if you've paid that up, it will last for you for 5 years. And again, once you don't get the service from your bank, so I don't know why it happens, but once you can even move to another bank and get approved. It doesn't mean that just because you are banking with company A, you must forever bank with them. If it doesn't service your need as a business. I moved, with the banks, they've got a rule. If you wanted a speed point, before they introduced the small speed point, you needed to trade and having to show, I can't remember what was the amount, but it was a huge amount that you need to trade for a month so that you can get to that amount to qualify for the speed point. I applied for the speed point. I was losing money, because when people come to the restaurant to buy, if you don't have a speed point, who will go and queue at the ATM and still come back to buy? It's not as if I was the only fast food selling. I was so frustrated. I was going to this bank writing emails, but they were saying it's their policy. What happened? One time, NetBank came, their staff, they had opened a new branch. One of the managers from Pretoria was eating at my restaurant. He couldn't pay. And he gave me a call, to say, what, I'll get my people to come and help you fill in the form. They even came to the branch in Township. I was at Bosch. They came with the forms for the speed point. I didn't even have to go to the bank. I completed, after 2 days, I got the speed point. I moved from Bank A. I love that Bank A, their systems, internet banking is so nice. I love it. I moved because I felt that they were not servicing me. I joined NetBank, and I don't regret, because even when I was doing my home loan before, my ex-bank didn't give me any home loan. I just feel that sometimes in business, let's not be loyal to a bank that doesn't service you. If they rejected you and you've been asking for a reason, you know what, change those banks so that you can get a better service somewhere else. Because trust me, you will move from that bank, you will get a better service because you've been banking with those banks. They see your business turnovers, all the monies are getting through them. Chances of them that they could have at least given you a reason, even if they reject you, is better because you could have now worked on that reason so that you can reapply. So I'm actually sad about your story, but I promise you, try to change your banks. Don't be loyal to a bank that is not helping you. I know sometimes you feel like we've been with these banks for 20 years. 20 years doesn't really, you'll start another 20 years with a bank that can service you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's really helpful.
Yeah, because if you say you even followed up Tsepiso to say, why did they reject you? I know, I changed that bank. And you see that in other banks can even get more service. Actually, when you go to another bank, start from there, tell them, I want to move because of this experience so that they can work on that to give you a better experience on your needs.
Absolutely. And remember, if it's a tender, it's even, you don't even have time to go around and say, okay, you have let's say something needs to be repaired, or you need to go back now and wait for another 6 months, because now you have to service this within a very short period of time. So it's not one of those loans that you need in a year, that it's something that you need now so that you can service whatever that's required now. So you don't even have that luxury in terms of time, and review your finances and do and repair whatever that is required. So I think that's also another challenge that I saw, that these type of loans in the banks, they're not treated differently, because if it's a normal loan where I want to expand the business, it's totally different because I can wait since I've already planned for the business. However, if it's a project that is required now, and I have to do whatever that is required now, it's something else that is totally different. And how is it dealt with? Because already I'm awarded and there will be a PO and it will have to be serviced. Exactly that I will get the payment within a period of time. So there isn't actually even questions about it. You can even make arrangements as a bank to say, if you want, we can just pay directly to the bank. You, the bank, pay me, because we already have a relationship. I mean, that's what I thought in my mind, but it just did not make sense to me to say, okay, even in a case like this where it's so clear, it's nothing, there's no uncertainties. I'm not going to even be looking for clients. You already know that this is going to be paid, but still,
didn't help. And I like the fact that you didn't want to take your working money of the other businesses to service this tender, because now you'll be stuck having, because remember, tenders, they don't pay immediately. So you could not just now commit all the money of your working capital of other businesses to this tender. No, I'm very sad. No, please reconsider changing the banks if your bank is failing you this much, So the other thing that we'll move into is different types of funding. So funding, guys, it's a loan that you still need to pay. Yes, there are other grant funding, but when people say funding, it doesn't mean it's free money. So there are different types of funding. There's angel investments. You can even crowd fund, joint stock sales. They give you money, you give it back. Some, it comes without interest if you're a member of the stock fair. So look into different types of funding. But the one that is more popular and easily accessible, because crowdfunding, they might need to crowdfund for you for maybe a year, and you need the funds maybe in a month or 2 months. Grant funding is also a long process, and the requirements are even much tighter. So the most popular one, if you run a business that is generating an income, it will be the loan. So even from government institutions like your NEF or SIFA, Small Enterprise Financial Agency, they're also the ones that attract interest. Then even if you go to the banks also has some of the funds that are from government institutions, where how they schedule them, it won't be as strict as their own money. For example, some of the bank finance might not need security. you know, where you have to put in your asset to say, secure this asset with this loan, because they might be administering another funding from government institutions because they've got the resources and better system to collect the funds. So if you want, let's say 250,000 or 200,000, some of it, ask those banks to say, can you allocate me a fund that is from government institutions, because their regulations are less stricter. So government loans are not only accessible through government, some that are from other private entities like identity partners. You know, they get a scope of other funders, then they will add their own markup, but it's still reasonable. Even now, there are rules and regulations, and you know, on those funding are not the same as the ones that you will normally get at commercial banks. And it's not all the funding, guys, that need 100,000 to start a mobile kitchen. Guys, to start a mobile kitchen, you might even need less than 60,000. So with 60,000, it might not need all those other requirements like getting 5 million from the bank. So don't just sit there and not having enough, you know, to run a certain business, because already you are thinking, no, they said I must have this security, surety, this and that. Go and ask from the banks, go and ask so that you know what are the requirements. So the first point before you apply for any funding is to get as much information about how to apply from the institution. Don't just listen to other people that has never even applied for this funding, but they'll tell you that it's impossible. You know, it's not impossible, guys. We see a lot of businesses being funded, but the reality in South Africa is that we still see a whole lot of white-owned businesses funded. The Minister of Small Business did share last year when there were funds for COVID in 2020 to say, unfortunately, last year when there were funds for COVID in 2020 to say, unfortunately, 75% of those funds that were grants funding, we didn't even need to pay them. There were grants funding. 75% were awarded to white-owned businesses because they came out to apply. It's not as if government chose white-owned businesses over black-owned businesses. They came out to apply. Their compliance was proper. You know, so it's very important when we're saying don't only do compliance for the sake of business funding. Compliance for any business, guys, it helps your business to grow, it helps your business to run better, and it's the right thing by law as you run a business in South Africa that you need to be compliant. So don't just do compliance for impressing the funders. Do compliance as a responsible business owner so that you can have your management accounts every month so that you can see the expenses of your business. You can see where your business is losing money or making money so that you now understand your business better and you can focus on the things that are making more money and understanding. And also there are other institutions that have now emerged where they can give you working capital. They can also consolidate, maybe if you had other loans, and they also do growth capital. I'll just give one example. It's called the Get Funds. So if you can go and Google the Get Funds, it's one of those in institutions, and also retail funding. You know, retail funding is not only for restaurants, but if you are in retail space where you are trading every day, where you are not doing tenders, but you are just trading every day, you know, and you've got a speed point machine, then they can now allocate such funds for you. So their turnaround is much quicker, and they even go as up as 10 million rand. So Tsepiso, also go and try those companies, ne? So after COVID, I've seen that there has been a lot of funding companies that were emerging in South Africa. So check them out. You know, there's a whole lot of them that you can just try them out, and their turnaround is much faster. So the nice thing that I like about them, so use the application to test what will be your verdict. Because remember, guys, it doesn't mean that when you've applied for funding, if they approve you, you can take it. Just do it just to see and assess yourself. Then you can just say, no, you decline the offer. You know, they won't penalize you for anything. It's like getting a quotation. Nobody penalizes us for sending them quotations. So use the small companies because their turnaround is very quick and they give you information. And it's also good for them, guys, to have a pool and database. So it's a win-win situation, right? It's not as if you are only using them. They're also getting your details for database purposes. someday you'll be their client, or you can even refer them. Like now, you can even refer them to other people. So it's marketing that you are doing for them, you know. So let's get into touch with those other institutions and just see, you know, what is the process. Just test yourself so that you can now do this funding application proper. And then they will also give you a call, guide you, you know, so that you can just, you don't have to take their offer, guys. You can just say, you know what, I'll come back. Any other questions?
There's nothing in the chat. Heidi, I see
Hello.
what is their name and Tsepi, so you said any examples. So I'm not sure, are you talking about the funding institutions?
Yes, correct.
Oh,
Asking
yes,
about
correct.
the funding institutions.
Yeah, the funding institutions. So I've named some of them. I would say the National Empowerment Fund is a government institutions. The CFA, Small Enterprise Finance Agency, it also loans up to 5 million. NEF is from 250 to 75 million. And then the IDC focusing mainly on manufacturing and industrial. Those are the government institutions. And then you can also look into identity partners. Auspolo runs the identity partners. And even if you just go to Google and say government institutions, it will send a whole lot of other financiers, and also the banks, all the banks, Nedbank, FNB, ABSA, Standard Bank, Mercantile Bank, Time Bank. They also have small business fundings. And then when you get there, ask them to say, can you allocate me government institution funds before they give you their funds? Because their terms and conditions, they differ a bit. And then the other one, it's the other one that I just said is get fund. So it's one of the institutions that normally approach me because they've seen that I do funding consultations. So let me give you their details. They're very nice. Get funds. And then when you call Ashla, please tell Ashla, but I really referred you. I want my commission. Yeah, Ashley. 066 113 4248. Yeah. No, she's very nice. It's work email, it's work number. They need customers, guys. She'll be so happy. She's been looking for my database, but we have not concluded on the commission. Guys, we can't work for free. I also need my commission. So please, if you go to her, you can just tell her that you got a number from me. So I think we don't have any other question. I think I've covered all that I wanted to do. So I've got a book that I shared. If maybe you wanna do your own application just at your own pace, I will highly encourage that before you go out to look for a consultant, try to do it on your own and then go to the consultant, at least having a framework when you've done something, you know, it's better both ways so that they know what you're looking for and, you know, you can also understand your business better. So I've got a book, it's titled How I Started My Business with 1 million Rand from the Bank. It's available at Exclusive Books, Bargaining Books, and Clicks, in CNA. It also has, it's like a self-help where it just shows you how to also apply for funding. I've also shared the form and the requirements. So this is the book. So just focusing on the funding and the benefits for me, because I feel that without the funding, I could not have accessed a formal business. So the formal business helped me now to also be able to earn an income from my business. You know, it was able to run from day one. So it's just the motivation so that I can just comfort others who are scared to take business loan. Guys, 6 years down the line, I've paid both the loans, they've settled. You know, so I've seen so much growth for me personally in my businesses just from those funding. Don't be scared, guys. It's not bad, guys. So the worst case scenario, guys, choose your business with funding fail. You know, you can just be blacklisted. Guys, people get blacklisted for buying groceries at Woolworths. Let's be realistic, ne? So it's not like it's not the end of you. You know, you can now rebuild again, get out of debt, service that debt. It's not like the worst case scenario, guys, is your business closing down and being blacklisted. And then if maybe you had another asset, the asset being seized, but it's not the end of the world. We can still recover. We've seen a whole lot of other successful entrepreneurs who have shared their stories to say they had to be vacated from their homes, this and that, their cars had to be taken, but they've managed to rebuild. So sometimes we might be scared to access opportunities that can change our lives. You know, some of us, funding changed our lives, and there's so many good stories how funding changed people's lives, guys. You know, so let's not just thinking of the worst, but also think of the best to say, what if I get this 500,000 and boom, I grow my business? You know, I now have branches all over because I've now managed to have enough revenue into the businesses because I had enough resources and to service my customers. So let's not only think of the worst, but also think of the best that can happen in your business. So I think there are no questions. So I don't know, Yoli, please guide us. Are we ending it now? Because I see that there are no questions. And even on my side, I think I've shared everything that I wanted to say.
Yes, no, thank you so much, Bathabile. We've really enjoyed the session. And thank you for all the ladies that have supported this session as well. And so this is the end. We've come to the end of Women's Month. And so we're just going to share one last slide for the show. If you can just give me a moment.
For the first time in South Africa, a live performance mid-flight at 30,000 feet. To kick off this groundbreaking innovation is 27-year-old Divine Mahara. This is also the former Zimbabwe's Got Talent winner's first ride on a plane ever.
At me.
Life is a journey. We are all traveling. Kure kwanda koi, here I have been traveling. Life is a journey. We are still traveling. Kure kwandi koi, we are all still traveling. Kanango mayorira natso terera voda izira ngome natso pembera upenye udukuduku mwanawe recollect my friend kanango mayorira natso terera kanango mayorira natso terera voda izira ngome natso pembera upenye udukuduku mwanawe recollect my friend, can I go mayorira not so terera. Life is a journey. Yeah, we are all traveling. Kure kwanda koi, here I have been traveling. Oh, life is a journey. We are still traveling. Kure kwadido and I go, yeah, we're all still traveling. Kanango ngoma yorira natso terera iwe vodayidzira ngome natso pembera iwe upenyu udo kudu kumwanawe break a leg my friend kana ngoma yorira natso terera iwe kana ngoma yorira natso terera iwe vodayidzira ngome natso pembera upenyu udo kudu kumwanawe break a leg, my friend. Kana ngoma yorira nazo terera iwe. I have been traveling. We're still all traveling. Yes, I have been traveling, 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 traveling.
Hi, Moha. Wa bona he ha o sa mpoletse. Wa bona. Ke ono buele na sona e. Ke ya 15,000 ya suspension e ne ya savings. Ke tlo mfounela wa nketsa platform ya message.
Vu, if you can please stop our YouTube link. So thank you, everyone. We really hope that you enjoyed the session, and it is live on YouTube, so you'll be able to access it on YouTube. We've shared the link. If you've not received it, we will send out an email to everyone who attended the session with the YouTube link so that you can also share with other people within your network. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bathabile.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Bye.